Good afternoon, Hattiesburg. Thanks for joining us for this Friday afternoon briefing for COVID-19 and some other city news. We'll start with today's numbers. These are all of our healthcare institutions. Forrest General's 19 counties, Marriott Health Wesley's 18 counties, Hattiesburg Clinic's multiple counties, Cimarron, as well as the Southern Miss Moffitt Health Center. As of today, since this began, we've had 31,118 tests that have been conducted for COVID. 3,156 of those have come back positive. Of course, those are not all active cases, and they're not all in just Forrest and Lamar counties. 26,303 tests have come back negative. We still have a very high pending test count at 1,611. Right now in the hospital, we went back up in hospitalizations. 70 people between Marriott Health Wesley and Forrest General are now positive for COVID. That's about 9 over where we've been for the last 2 weeks. We have another 21 patients who are under investigation, and of course, what we've heard is that 15% of those under investigation will typically come back positive as well. Of those 70 patients in the hospital, 31 are in the ICU right now. That is, again, we're staying up there in our numbers, 5 over where we've been the last 14 days. And if you look at kind of where the chart's been, this week has been a tough week for us in trying to show you, because we've had to add new lines to account for all of the new hospitalizations. And of course, ICU over 30 again. Hospitalizations back at the 70 mark, and so we know that we are really starting to stretch and tax our healthcare system as it relates to its capacity and its manpower to meet the needs of both the COVID patients and the people who are there for other reasons. We did have 1 new death reported today in Lamar County. That brings their total to 8 total deaths. Our metro area has seen 3 deaths this week, of course, 2 in Forrest County, 53 total since this began. We send our condolences and best wishes to those families. New positives today. Forrest County had 22 new positive tests for COVID. Lamar County had 34. Total for the area, 56. Since this began back in March, Forrest County stands at 1162. Lamar County is at 702, 1864 combined. This is the 5-day rolling average, where we take the number of new positive cases on a given day, and we average it with the 2 days before and the 2 days after. We have seen steadily an increase in both Forrest and Lamar County's numbers. Saw a little bit of a decline today based on the 5-day average, which we hope that that will turn around soon. I will say that a lot of tests have been conducted this week from talking to our partners, and there's a higher percentage of positives coming back with those tests. We also looked at the number of cases who have tested positive and received their positive results inside the past 14 days. In Forrest County, that number stands at 311. A couple weeks ago, we were talking about getting down to the low point of 100 and 105. But because this disease has a 14-day life cycle or fewer, unless there's an adverse reaction, typically this inside 14 days is a good indicator, some indicator of the number of positive cases or active cases you could have in your community at a given time. So 311 in Forrest County, 262 in Lamar County. Combined, we are now well over 500, almost nearing 600, as you can see on this chart. Continuing to increase that number of active cases, and something we should really be concerned about, because trying to limit those number of new positive cases helps us achieve our goals, protecting the vulnerable. We don't want the vulnerable to get it, people who are over the age of 60, people with underlying or chronic health conditions, because if the vulnerable get it, they're likely to end up in the hospital. So we want to prevent our overrun of our healthcare system by slowing the spread, and if we can keep 1 and 2 from happening, we can accomplish those 2, we're likely to accomplish number 3. Prioritize public health while keeping the private sector open, giving it space to operate creatively. Our 4 factors that we've leaned on: widespread availability of testing, which we've used a lot this week and have used a lot the last several weeks, the wearing of masks, which we'll hear more about later, watching our own data, listening to all voices. Today, statewide information: 1,032 new cases, 24 new deaths statewide. Governor Reeves, of course, announced today during his briefing that he will be extending the safe return order. We don't know for how long. He's likely going to add additional counties. Right now there are 13 counties who are under a mandatory mask order and have limited events. And he did specifically mention Forrest, Lamar, and Jones counties as candidates to come under that rule. Of course, Hattiesburg already has a mask order, but there are some additional restrictions that will come with being included in the governor's list of counties. And we will follow whatever the governor says. We will definitely be extending our mask order. We're kind of seeing what he's going to do in terms of timeline, in terms of whether the entire county comes in under some new restrictions. And once we know that, we will be extending ours for the same length of time. There's one bit of information I want to share with you. If you want to look this up, Dr. Rubosh shared this today on our stakeholder call. There's a website at Georgia Tech. It's covid19risk.biosci.gatech.edu. It's a model that shows the risk level of attending an event in a particular county and being exposed to at least one COVID positive person based on the size of the event. And so what we did, you can actually we'll show you this on how the map looks, but you can actually zoom in and point to any county in the United States and then set the toolbar for how big the event is, and it shows your risk of being exposed to at least one COVID positive patient. So we ran the numbers for Forrest and Lamar County. In Forrest County right now, if you attended an event with 100 people, there's a 98% chance that you would interact or be exposed to at least one COVID positive person. At 50 people, that drops to 88%. Even with 25 people, there's a 63% chance of you interacting with somebody with COVID. And even in an event as small as 10 people, there's a 35% chance that you will interact or be exposed to at least one COVID positive person. In Lamar County, the numbers are slightly smaller, but not by much. In an event of 100 people, it's 96% chance. 50 people, 85%. 25 people, 56%. But even with 10 people, there's still a 32% chance that you will be exposed to at least one person with COVID. Now, we give you this information, not to just scare you, even though these numbers should concern you. But these are models based on data that they're seeing right now out of all of these counties. And what we hope that it allows you to do is make better decisions on what you do this weekend and what you do next week. That even if you're with a group of friends that you know and you have known for a long time, if there are 10 of you there's a 35% chance in Forrest County, 32% chance in Lamar County that you're going to interact with somebody. And so by socially distancing ourselves, by avoiding crowds, and Dr. Dobbs said today that he would recommend right now in Mississippi avoiding all gatherings of any group of people, and by wearing a mask, you can take care of yourself. And speaking of masks, there is a mask distribution event happening tomorrow and Sunday, actually, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Forrest County Emergency Management Center. That's at 40800 U.S. Highway 11 next to Sully's. If you are shut in, or if you know someone who is elderly who cannot make it by the EOC to pick up a mask, simply call the office, 544-5911, and they will deliver one to you if you are shut in or elderly or know someone who is. Also want to remind you that tomorrow there is a blood drive at First Presbyterian Church, sponsored by JA, from 9 to 2. Again, COVID has really sapped up a lot of blood supply, and so we really need people to go out and donate. Bloodhero.com, social distancing will be observed. Please wear a mask when you go. Bloodhero.com, code Junior Auxiliary. You can schedule an appointment to donate tomorrow from 9 to 2. And some city news, for those of you who want to get out with your dog, the large dog area at the Central Bark Dog Park, it's on West Pine Street, corner of West Pine and 4th, is back open this week. We closed it for a couple of months to resod and get that grass growing again. After 3 years, it was looking a little rough. But now the large dog pen is now open at Central Bark Dog Park, along with a great new sign with the park name on it. So please feel free to get out, socially distance yourself, wear a mask if there are other people around. But we're super proud of this dog park and glad to see it back open. And finally, our act of courage is more of a word of congratulations today. Dr. Brian Batson has been a partner with the city and with the entire healthcare community and with schools since COVID-19 began. Today, he was named the new Chief Executive Officer of Hattiesburg Clinic. He will be succeeding Mr. Tommy Thornton, who spent the duration of his career building Hattiesburg Clinic into the largest multi-specialty clinic in the state of Mississippi and a very regionally, if not nationally, renowned clinic, the number 2 employer in our city, and we wish him all the best in retirement. But for Dr. Batson, his work ethic, his heart, they could not have chosen a better individual to lead the clinic and to help lead the health community in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So congratulations to Dr. Batson. And as we go into the weekend, please remember to wash your hands, take care of yourself, wear a mask if you go out in public, do only what is essential, and remember, especially right now, you are safer at home. Have a great weekend.